The place was surrounded by breathtaking scenery, but deep inside, a strange fear seemed to linger. I'm Jack, and I love exploring new places. One day, my two friends, Ryan and Daniel, and I decided to go camping in a remote jungle for a few days. The locals had warned us that the place was extremely isolated. Years ago, some mysterious incidents were said to have happened there. We didn't believe any of it. By afternoon, we drove into the jungle. After a few hours, we reached a small river flowing between two large hills. The scenery was unbelievably beautiful. But as the sun set, the jungle started to feel different. The birds went silent. The air around us grew heavy. Set up our tent near the riverbank. As night fell, we lit a fire and shared stories. Suddenly, from deep in the jungle, we heard a strange sound. It felt like someone was watching us from behind the trees. The night deepened and the jungle grew even more sinister. Suddenly, Daniel whispered, "Did you hear that?" We all froze. Again, we heard the sound, slow footsteps. Approaching our tent, we grabbed our torches and shone the light into the jungle. Nothing. A few minutes later, the sound returned. This time it felt like something was right next to our tent. Ryan screamed, "Ugh. What is that?" I pointed the torch and we saw a tall black shadow standing in the distance. Its body looked human, but unnaturally tall, and its eyes, even in the darkness, they glowed red. We stared for a few seconds, then suddenly, it vanished behind the trees. We thought it was just our imagination, but the fear had only just begun. The night grew darker. We huddled inside the tent, hearts racing. The wind made the trees creak eerily. Suddenly I heard movement outside. I grabbed my torch and peeked out, and then I froze. Right in front of our tent stood that black, strange figure. This time it was closer than before. Its red eyes glowed like fire. Slowly, it tilted its head. Then a horrifying grin stretched across its unseen face. At that moment, Ryan whispered from behind, "Jack, someone's inside the tent." The night grew darker. We huddled inside the tent, hearts racing. The wind made the trees creak eerily. Suddenly, I heard movement outside. I grabbed my torch and peeked out. And then I froze. Right in front of our tent stood that black, strange figure. This time it was closer than before. Its red eyes glowed like fire. Slowly, it tilted its head. Then a horrifying grin stretched across its unseen face. At that moment, Ryan whispered from behind, "Jack, someone's inside the tent." Turned slowly, and then I realized we weren't alone inside the tent either. Hearing Ryan, my blood ran cold. I turned slowly. In the corner of the tent, something was moving. We were three, but there was someone else. The shadow shifted slowly. When the torchlight hit it fully, it vanished into thin air. Daniel's trembling voice said, "I swear, someone was here." Then, the eerie sound came again from outside. It felt like the creature was circling the tent. Suddenly, something long and thin pressed against the tent fabric. It looked like a human arm, but unnaturally long. We couldn't speak. In the next moment, it slid away, disappearing into the night. Before dawn, we decided to leave immediately. We packed our things and started walking toward the car. After a few minutes, Daniel stopped. "This path, we didn't come this way before." We looked around. All the trees looked the same. It felt like the jungle itself was keeping us trapped. Then, in the distance, we saw an old wooden shack almost collapsing. Before dawn, we decided to leave immediately. We packed our things and started walking toward the car. After a few minutes, Daniel stopped. "This path, we didn't come this way before." We looked around. All the trees looked the same. It felt like the jungle itself was keeping us trapped. Then, in the distance, we saw an old wooden shack almost collapsing. We thought maybe someone was inside. As we pushed the door open, darkness enveloped us. Old photographs and newspapers littered the floor. I picked up a paper and read aloud, "Many people have gone missing in this jungle over the years. At night, witnesses claim to see a tall black figure wandering." We exchanged terrified glances. Then, the door slammed shut behind us. We tried to escape, but the door wouldn't budge. From the corner of the room, we heard movement. Shining our torches, we saw that tall black figure, even closer than before. Its red eyes blazed in the dark. It began walking toward us slowly. Daniel screamed, trying to break the door. Suddenly, a window shattered. We jumped through and ran to the car. Looking back, we saw Hidden among the trees were dozens of tall black shadows, all staring at us. We drove as fast as possible, silence filling the car. No one spoke. Ryan's hands trembled on the wheel. Suddenly, Daniel whispered from the back, "Jack, don't look behind you." Curiosity got the better of me. I glanced out the rear window, and my heart froze. The figure stood in the middle of the road, though we were miles away. How had it gotten there so fast? For a few seconds, it stared at us, then vanished. We thought it was finally over. That night, we stayed at a small roadside motel, trying to forget everything that had happened in the jungle. The silence felt strange. Almost too calm. Daniel suddenly said he needed to use the bathroom. A few moments later, he screamed. The sound was so loud it made my heart stop. We rushed to the bathroom and pushed the door open. Daniel was standing in front of the mirror, shaking violently. His face was pale, his eyes wide with terror. "What happened?" I asked. Days later, we finally returned home. Everything looked normal again. The streets, the houses, the quiet neighborhood. It felt safe, at least. That's what we tried to believe. We told ourselves the jungle was just a terrible nightmare, something our minds created from fear and exhaustion. But deep inside, I knew something was wrong, because the strange things didn't stop. Every night, I started noticing something outside the window, a tall shadow, standing near the trees across the street, perfectly. Still, watching the house, watching us at first, I thought it was just my imagination. But one night, Daniel saw it too. He whispered with fear in his voice, "Do you see that?" I looked outside, and there it was again, that same tall black figure, standing in the darkness. Not moving, not leaving, just watching. Days passed, none of us slept well anymore. Then one night, something worse happened. I woke up suddenly around 3:17 a.m. The room was completely silent, too silent. Then I noticed something strange. The bedroom door was slightly open, but I clearly remembered locking it before going to sleep. Cold air slowly drifted into the room. The hallway outside was dark, completely black. I slowly got out of bed. Each step felt heavier. Then the last, my heart was beating so loud I could hear it in my ears. I reached the door and gently pushed it open. The hallway was empty, but the darkness felt alive. Then suddenly, I felt something behind me, a presence. Cold, heavy, like someone standing right at my back. My body froze, slowly, very slowly. I turned around, and my blood turned to ice. Standing in the corner of the room, Dot was the tall black figure, its body darker. Then the night itself, it had no clear face, no eyes. Had no clear face, no eyes, just an endless shadow, watching me. The air in the room became freezing cold. Then the figure moved slightly, closer, and a whisper filled the room, a voice that sounded ancient, cold, empty. It said only one thing. "You never really left the jungle." I couldn't breathe. My legs refused to move. Then the shadow leaned closer and whispered again, "You are still there." At that moment, a terrifying thought entered my mind. What if we never escaped? What if that night in the jungle, we never actually made it out alive? And everything after that, the motel, the road, even our home, was never real? Maybe we were still lost in that jungle, and the shadow was just waiting for us to realize the truth. Today's story ends here. Let me know how you liked it in the comments. Don't forget to share your thoughts. I'm new on YouTube, so please support the channel by subscribing so you don't miss the next video. Thank you all so much for watching the full video. Take care everyone, and see you in the next story.